Welcome to Lesson 11, the final lesson in our design thinking topic. In this lesson, we will continue to discuss the test phase of design thinking. If you remember from the previous lesson, we focused on test preparation to help you and your team get ready for your testing. Now, in this lesson, we'll discuss what happens after you test, which is when you need to analyze your test results. The purpose of the final test phase in design thinking is to have real users test your prototype so that your team can gather preliminary usability feedback. This lesson will focus on how to organize, summarize, and reflect on the feedback that came from your usability testing. Remember that testing is an opportunity to learn about your solution and your user. The learning part comes from analyzing the data from your prototype testing. The key tips that we discussed last lesson are that you should always create an experience for the testers and let the testers test. Your testing packet, including your problem statement, persona, and scenarios, help create this experience by offering a contextual story for your testers to use as they walk through your mid-fidelity prototypes. Hopefully, you also allowed the testers to actually test during your test facilitation. This means that you didn't tell the user exactly what buttons to click or immediately answer their questions when they were stuck, but instead you allowed them to explore your app prototype to get a feel for the design, navigation, and functionality of your mHealth app ideas. The key tip for the data analysis part of testing is that last bullet point. It is to remember that failure is good. As you go through the feedback from your testers, it is completely normal to feel defensive or even hurt if someone didn't like your ideas or your design. However, it's so important to really listen to what your testers are trying to tell you about your ideas or designs. Remember that testing is as much about your design as it is about your users, so pay attention to why the testers do and do not like parts of your prototype. It's so important to catch failures or mistakes or oversights in your design at this point in the design process, before you've spent a lot of time or money creating the actual mHealth app. If you remember from the last lesson, the purpose of the testing phase is to allow real users to walk through the prototype to provide feedback on the design, functionality, and navigation. The new bolded part of this statement states, so that the team can improve the prototype. This is the purpose of the test analysis part of your testing. Your teams need to analyze the data so that you can understand how to improve the design for the next iteration. The tools we discussed last class included the test preparation and the test execution. Now we will discuss the final tool, the test summary. This summary includes 3 parts: providing a written summary of the raw data, an analysis of what the data means, and a reflection on how that data can be used to improve the prototype or mHealth ideas. So, let's start with the definition. What do we mean by data analysis? Well, you've probably done data analysis in previous classes or in jobs before, so I want you to leverage the skills and knowledge that you've learned for this activity as well. We will use the definition of data analysis from the usability.gov website, which is provided by the United States Health and Human Services, or HHS, organization. Data analysis in usability testing is defined as the systematic process of reviewing test data in order to identify trends, patterns, and other results. And the purpose of doing this is to draw conclusions and gain insights about the design and the users.